Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rishi, Medhatithi Kanva, Devata, Indra, Agni, Chandas, Gayatri. Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rik 1.
Indra-Agni upahvadeta joristomamushmasi Asomam somapatama.
I call near here Indra and Agni. Assuredly to him we desire you both who drink Soma offering. Indra defined. Creation is a comprehensive and inclusive whole akin to a singularity. It is transformed into a duality in the perception of mortals, primarily by the apparent experiential notions of birth and death, the two defining occurrences for them. All other dichotomies of this state of existence being offshoots of these primary notions. Perhaps the functional distinctions of natural forces, too, is a product of this perception. Mathematically, this could perhaps be described as there being a single equation defining every force, where any one force appears to be a proportional combination of all the others in the mix. This will inherently mean and bring to the fore the concept of Indra, the idea that all forces are and need to be regulated for existence to work as it does. No force can have a free and independent run with any of its designated functional enterprises, unless the script of time demands that it be so for a specific purpose during a particular period. The mention of Indra and Agni together and a Suktam dedicated to both of them jointly is perhaps an affirmation of this understanding. A facet of Agni is displayed by all natural forces, the immortals, but it needs an Indra at every step, which is the combined action of all other forces other than Agni, to ensure that Agni's expression is curtailed to the level necessary for an activity. Surely does the mortal world require both Indra and Agni working in tandem.
Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rik 2.
Yajñeshu prasamsatendragni sumbhata naraha Gayatreshu gayata.
Mortals in sacrifices do declare upon both Indra and Agni, do shine, do sing, both in Gayatri meter. Metrics for knowledge survival. Survival is the principal aim of anything that is created. Nature formulates multitudes of schemes differing in details but similar in objective for this purpose. Immortals do not need such devices by definition, knowledge too being one among them, which pervades the universe, which is spoken of as waters in the Vedas, and are revealed to mortal seers who then compose them in words for dissemination. Being mortal compositions, the need for survival becomes applicable to them also. The scheme devised for the survival of Vedic compositions is Chandas, that uses the number of letters in a verse as a measure for a given meter. There are 7 such metric formulations used widely in the Vedas, namely Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtubh, Brihati, Pankti, Trishtubh and Jagati. Their letter measures being 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44 and 48 respectively. There are derivatives of each of these chandas as well, with Gayatri alone having 8 that figure in the Vedas. Consider this verse. The letters used in it are listed as follows: Ta, Ya, Ge, Shu, Pra, Sham, Sa, Ta, In, Dra, Gni, Shum, Bha, Ta, Na, Rah, Ta, Ga, Ya, Tre, Shu, Ga, Ya, Ta, which counts to 24. One is left in wonderment at the abilities of Vedic composers that include inflexible accuracy of thought, use of metaphors that involve activities and objects from everyday living, all packed into a 24-letter metric.
Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rik 3.
मित्रस्य प्रशस्तय इन्द्राग्नीदाहवामहे सोमपा सोमप्रीतये.
For the benediction of Mitra, we call both Indra and Agni, both Soma drinkers, for drinking Soma. One truth, many viewpoints. There are these 2 viewpoints, both logically valid, about describing a soccer match. One is the generally accepted perspective that members of the 2 opposing teams strive to kick or bounce the ball off any part of the body except the hands and arms into the adversary's goal, using all the skills at their command. The other is that the ball goes into the game with an agenda and makes the 22 players from both sides, the 3 referees and the onlookers, and lately the TV referee as well, to dance to its machinations for the duration of the game. The ball also decides whether there are to be the hand of God moments and vituperative brawls between players during or after the match. The verse in focus deals with a similar difference of opinion concerning the rays of the sun, Mitra's benediction, gracing earth for the benefit of its inhabitants. The other point of view can be that Indra and Agni, who together occupy the mid-region separating the earth from heaven, where the sun resides in glorious splendor, decide whether or not to allow sun's rays to stream through their domain. This is the soccer player-centric perspective. The football-centric perspective will be that the rays of the sun have their agenda to reach earth and manipulate Indra and Agni to achieve their goal. The seer composer must surely be aware of this apparent dichotomy and perhaps mentions one of them to make beneficiaries on earth to understand that in duality there will always be an opposing viewpoint to any perspective. From the scientific frame of reference, the verse mentions the role of the atmosphere in filtering out harmful components of the sun's radiation and letting only the beneficial ones to get through.
Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rik 4.
उग्रासन्ताहवामहमुपेदम् समानम् श्रुतम् इन्द्राग्नीयेह गच्छताम्.
We call those who are mighty, Indra and Agni, to this Soma libation, to the Soma extract. Let them verily come near here. Indra, Agni, and atmospherics. This uncomplicated appearing verse packs a huge punch in terms of the range of atmospheric complexities that it addresses. Indra, the regulator, and Agni, the energy provider for Indra's regulatory activities, together maintain the atmosphere in a state where life on Earth can tread a fairly non-tumultuous path that enables them to navigate inevitable climatic changes caused by evolutionary processes. Earth's early atmosphere lacked oxygen. It gradually increased with the advent of biota and their proliferation. Modifying influences also occurred intermittently, caused by volcanic eruptions, lightning, and undulating coronal activity of the sun. The Indra-Agni-combine have to negotiate all these factors and maintain a reasonably stable system with transformations made accordingly at a very moderate pace so that mortals can cope. This natural tendency in them is termed their benevolence, which it is. But they may also need to show their wrathful side if a point is reached that can be corrected only by drastic action. Lately, carbon dioxide levels have been increasing over the past 100 years, posing a new challenge to the duo. It remains to be seen how they tackle it, but surely they will, because that is their mandate. Whatever interventional method they adopt, whether classified as benevolent or being to the contrary, according to vested interests, it will be cosmic equilibrium that they will be working towards. Indra and Agni need to be honored and celebrated indeed.
Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rik 5.
तामहान् दासधस्पति इन्द्राग्निरक्षा उज्जतम् अप्रजास्त्वम् पत्रिणाः.
Both great masters of heaven and earth, Indra and Agni, do subdue evil spirit. Let devourers be issueless. The protective ozone layer that keeps evil away. This verse perhaps refers to the protective ozone layer of the atmosphere that keeps away a good part of the harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun reaching Earth. The ozone layer found predominantly in the troposphere and the stratosphere. The lower levels of the atmosphere absorb up to 95% of the cited harmful radiation. Ozone is an allotrope of oxygen, O3, that breaks down to the more stable allotrope, O2, and atomic oxygen. In the presence of another catalyzing molecule like nitrogen, N2, which is found abundantly in the atmosphere, O2 and O recombine to form O3 again. This cyclical process is termed the ozone cycle, which constantly sustains the necessary ozone levels in the atmosphere for the purpose specified. If it were not so, and should all the ultraviolet radiation from the sun reach the earth, it would severely disrupt organic life. Known ill effects of excessive ultraviolet radiation on human health includes compromised immune system, cancer, fast aging, and severe eye ailments. As most life structures are functionally similar, the effect of UV radiation upon life other than humans should also be equally devastating. In a manner of speech, UV radiation can be said to devour life forms and hence are evil. Indra and Agni protect terrestrial life from this possible calamity and so are honored as being masters of both heaven and earth as well as the region between and who keep evil away.
Mandalam 1, Suktam
21.
Rik 6.
तेन सत्येन जागृतमधिप्रचेतुने पदे इन्द्राग्नि शर्म यच्छतम्.
Do awaken us in consciousness by that truth in the region above, Indra and Agni. Do grant peaceful happiness. This is possibly what consciousness is in mundane terms. Anyone involved in the design of a system that may be a machine for a specific activity or a set of standard rules to address a variety of inputs that provide a coherent output satisfiable to all those who may provide inputs or even formulating a new recipe would have experienced the necessity to go through the process of an imaginary role play where every step of the system being designed is lived, understanding possibilities, anticipating obstacles and interference, all the while focused on the final purpose of the project and guided by the prior knowledge gained on the range of subject matter concerned. Such a role play is possibly the first step in becoming conscious, where the designer becomes the system being designed. Expanding this system impersonation exercise to an organized structure like Earth's atmosphere, one becomes conscious of the roles played by Indra, Agni, and Vayu, and possibly live the roles of these immortals as well, briefly, until inexorably overtaken by unavoidable mortal needs of role-playing reality according to one's place and status in the echelons of temporal existence. The brief period during which we live a system in all its intricacies can be said to be the time when we have been awakened by the truths of that system, granting us peaceful happiness of having accomplished the task. Seers are those who are able to extend this exercise to the universal system and further to the unmanifest Supreme itself. This possibly is transcendence.